One of our own, a local boy, and Tommy DeVito emerging as currently the starting quarterback of the New York Giants, but dare I say a star. And that's special. Like, with all due respect to future Hall of Famer Tiki Barber, you're from Virginia?
I know.
Like, I'm sorry.
We pump out some good ones.
You did David Wright?
David Wright. Right.
Dude, we can fall in love with athletes who aren't from here. That's obvious. I mean, Mickey Mantle's an icon to many, many people, and he was not a New Yorker. But there is something special when one of our own becomes a star for one of our teams. So yesterday we briefly had the discussion. Sean tried to make a list. It was putrid. And then we said, you know what, this deserves time.
It didn't feel as bad as it did in real time. Like, it was in real time. It was like, okay, this is okay. And then as we got to the end, it kind of started to snowball.
Realized we forgot so many people.
Yeah,
Calm
it
down.
snowballed like really quickly.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it felt okay.
Was it putrid, or is it the only Cinco to make it to a day two?
I'm giving you like some credit here, but because when you were reading them, it was like, oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm just saying.
A good one. And we got to the end, it was like, wait, you forgot this guy.
You forgot sweatshirt problem child.
Once we said one time, you forgot this guy.
Yeah.
The dam broke.
And that's why we needed to take a deep breath. We listened to a lot of people in our audience, and we compiled a mega list. Now, again, understand the rules here. It's someone from the area who played for our team, not went on and played for the Lakers, not went on and played out. No, played here and was a star here, because that's really special for us. So we've compiled a very, very long list, and then we narrowed it down to a top 10. The first ever Cinco de Tenno. Now, before we give you all the honorable mentions, I do think that something this prestigious deserves some music. So, Loogie, would you like to give us some musical options as we reveal the list?
Sure. Here's option number one.
All right. What? Ooh. Are we about to make love?
Yeah, that's like 70s, like, boing music.
Little convertible, a couple blondes. I like this one.
Jeez.
Yeah, pass. Give us the second option. That does not fit the beauty of New York, New Jersey sports icons. Come on now.
No problem. Here's option number two.
Are we clubbing right now?
Yeah, you're supposed to take Molly before you listen to this
I think I just got cologne at Holliston.
I know.
Yeah. You want to try option number 3 there, Luke? Let's see. Just a second. Try that again. Oh, God. This is awful.
Oh, is this your EDM?
Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, you're right. This is Loogie's EDM pod or something like that.
This is personal, like, this is, you know what? No music, dude. Forget it.
Yeah, I think we have to kill
Come on,
music.
one more.
Go ahead.
That has a little soul in it.
I think I like this
Little
one.
Motown?
You know why this one's actually pretty good? It sounds New York, doesn't it?
It does.
All right. Let's start with honorable mentions. These are the guys that did not make our top 10. Again, local athletes who went on and starred or was productive for our local teams. Number 1, we have Todd Frazier. Not sure you know, he played in the Little League World Series.
I did know that.
Brian Leach, we considered.
Tom's River, right?
Tom's River, yes. Brian Leach was a great player, but when we looked at the geography of where in Connecticut he was from, too far away. He's more of a New England kind of guy, so he was thrown out. Boomer Esiason. Now, look, we all love Boomer as a coworker, and Boomer was fine and certainly had a great NFL career, but as he would admit, Cincinnati, it wasn't here.
Yeah.
So honorable mention, Boomer Esiason. Honorable mention to a guy who I think topped Sean's list, Stephon Marbury.
Number 3 on my list.
He was number 3. Give me a freaking break.
Number 1 on my heart.
Honorable mention to Vinny Testaverde. I thought long and hard about Vinny.
Bro, Vinny T's got to be on the list, bro.
But he didn't make the list. Honorable mention to Ken O'Brien. Ken O'Brien grew up in Rockville Center but moved at such a young age. Couldn't include him. Honorable mention, and I think this one's going to piss off Tiki. I gotta say this calmly. He didn't make it. Honorable mention to David Tyree.
What?
Yeah. Honorable mention.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, come on. One play.
Okay, but it's the most iconic reception in Super Bowl history.
One play.
And a Pro Bowler.
And he made the Pro Bowl.
One play.
Oh, my God.
Honorable mention.
He's a Jet fan.
Honorable mention to Kyrie Irving. I don't even want to say it. Honorable mention to Jabril Peppers. Speaking of one play, honorable mention to Mike Baxter, who is a Queens kid and made the great catch in Johan Santana's no-hitter. Honorable
One-hitter.
One hitter.
It was a no-hitter.
One hitter.
The one-hitter.
Okay, you guys are really going to piss me off.
Okay,
No-hitter.
You pissed me off with David Tyree.
By the
Now
way,
we're even. Let it go.
And you shouldn't have Mike Baxter anywhere near this list if you don't want us telling you it's a one-hitter.
Honorable mention. Oh, I want to also make clear, it's the last 40 years. So that's why
Yes.
Lou Gehrig's not involved, Julius Erving is not involved, Phil Rizzuto's not involved. We cut it off at the last 40 years, this last generation, if you will.
And put it
Had
this
to
way.
be in Evan's lifespan.
If you have a Werther's original in your wallet, you're probably not going to like the list.
Honorable mention to Frank Viola. Well, love Frankie V. Love him. Honorable mention to Bobby Bonilla. We forget, local kid. And he's still known to this day for that contract that gets paid out. Honorable mention to Chris Drury. He's still around hanging out. And honorable mention to two guys who are currently playing. We left current players out because their story has not been written yet. So for all the Ranger fans out there, Adam Fox may top this list someday. Not yet.
That's a good call.
Saquon Barkley, not yet. And of course, Tommy DeVito, not yet. Those are all our honorable mentions. You ready for the list?
Yes, let's hear it.
Number 10, Mark Jackson. Look, a couple of things about Mark Jackson, all right? For a generation of Knicks fans, you remember him as a rival on the Indiana Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, he had those 6 years with the Knicks, was famously traded for Doc Rivers and Charles Smith. But to Loogie, didn't you hate Mark Jackson because he was a Pacer?
Absolutely. I 100% associate Mark Jackson with those losers from Indiana.
Yeah. But 6 years with the Knicks, I think he made an all-star team. Got to put him up there. Top 10. You're right over there.
I'm in my mind, every time you bring up one that I am not just a little shaky on, and again, I'm not from New York, so I don't know.
I understand.
But a little shaky on, I'm going to question David Tyree.
Oh, are you?
Every single one.
Oh, it's going to get worse
That's
then.
a David Tyree replacement.
And real quickly, Tiki, because if we're going to keep bringing it up, you keep saying one play. He also scored a touchdown in that game.
Okay.
Yes.
2 plays. Oh, one other honorable mention, because he did not make the list, and we should get this out of the way now. Carmelo Anthony is not on this list. And this caused a lot of fighting off air. But Carmelo Anthony grew up in Brooklyn, but moved at the age of 8.
Yes.
And what really cinched Carmelo Anthony being excluded from this list is what he did recently when he rang the bell in Baltimore. When you start celebrating the Baltimore Ravens, you are announcing to the world that you're a Baltimorean. So Carmelo Anthony off the list.
That's a total disgrace. Carmelo Anthony, one of the legendary New York athletes, won a championship, obviously, in college at Syracuse. What he did with the Knicks, his jersey will ultimately be retired at the greatest arena in the history of arenas.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony should be on this list.
Dude, he left at 8.
Big deal. So what?
I mean,
He was
so
here.
what?
He was born
Dude,
here.
A-Rod-
He fits all the qualifications.
A-Rod was born here. He didn't grow up here.
I
He's
think
off the list, too.
I think A-Rod should be on this list. Met fan, still a Met fan, by the way. Wish he played for the Mets.
I think he had to grow up as a New Yorker.
Thank
He
you.
did. He was 8 years
And
here.
that's it. The beauty of the list is, when we talk about Tommy DeVito, who played at Don Bosco, you had to play some significant youth sports here and earn your ground.
He won a national title at Syracuse.
Hold on. This is what
It's like
has to.
18
This is
hours
what
away.
had to have happened. There is a collection of neighbors in a neighborhood somewhere in the tri-state area that is saying, as we do this list, "Oh yeah, I knew that kid was gonna be somebody."
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the whole. Is my kid going to make it to the league, to the big show? Or are the other parents complaining about him? If the answer is yes, then he has a shot. If the
Absolutely.
answer is no, he has no shot.
There is a generation of Knicks fans that Carmelo Anthony is their guy. You're not even going to say
We're not
honorable
ignoring
mention.
that he isn't
was
your guy.
born in
I know,
the
but
tri-state area and with 8 years here.
Just because James Dolan and MSG played "I'm Coming Home" over and over again doesn't mean he was actually coming home.
Speaking of, so who did Carmelo Anthony want to grow up and be?
Bernard King.
Interesting. Keep going with your list.
Well, he was at a Raven
Keep
game
going
a
with
few
your
weeks
list.
ago.
I don't care if he's at a damn Raven game.
He just claimed the Ravens. Just
And
let
by
you
the
know.
way, did Carmelo ever make that quote when he was a Nugget that he wanted to grow up and be Bernard King?
Oh, stop it.
And one other thing, because I think this is important, because we mentioned A-Rod grew up here. When A-Rod was in New York playing for the Yankees, did any of us ever say out loud, he's a New Yorker? No. He wasn't. He didn't even feel like a New Yorker when he was playing here. Derek Jeter's not a New Yorker either. He happened to visit his grandma in New Jersey a couple of times. Give me a break. Anyhow, let's get back to the list. Thank you. Number 9, Kenny Anderson.
That's a solid one.
That's a solid one, man. Local kid, played for the New Jersey Nets for about 7 years, and let's face it, was better than Mark Jackson. Got traded to Charlotte for Kendall Gill. Number 8. Now we're going to get to football. Jumbo Elliott.
Jumbo. That was
Jumbo
an
Elliott.
egregious miss by Sean
Yeah,
yesterday.
Sachem North.
Jumbo Elliott from Lake Ronkonkoma, New York.
Yep.
He's a Long Island guy, and here's the amazing thing about Jumbo. He did it for both teams.
Yep.
He won with the Giants, but was a part of an incredible memory with the Jets. He was on the 98 team, but was also a man who scored a touchdown in the Monday Night Miracle against the Miami Dolphins.
I'll never forget Jumbo Elliott first told me when I first met him. Yeah, I bought a Ferrari and I had to take the front seat out and sit in the back.
Really? That's funny.
Or maybe it was some other car, whatever. It was like one of those little tiny cars.
Jumbo Elliott, number 8. Number 7, Brickashaw Ferguson.
Brick.
The Brick, local guy, Jet legend. Was a part of that era of New York Jet football. The great Brickashaw Ferguson at number 7.
Matriculated to the University of Virginia.
That's right. Number 6, we shouldn't forget about this guy. Not only did he play, and he did make the 40-year cut because he played kind of on the edge of both, but went on, was a longtime coach with the New York Yankees and the manager of the New York Mets, Brooklyn's very own Willie Randolph.
How did you forget that one?
Yeah, man.
I didn't forget that one. I said recent memory.
Recent memory. He was managing the Mets like 5 minutes ago.
Not playing.
Number 5, I'm going to hold up a poster to represent this guy. Now, I warn you, this is a double poster, so if you see Mike Piazza, I apologize. New York Met lefty, former Yankee, number 22, Al Leiter. Tom's River. Tom's River.
Double poster.
Yeah, double poster.
Terrible poster.
Depending on the way you look at it, it's either Mike Piazza or Al Leiter. He's number 5. He was one of the great Mets starters of all time. After the top echelon of Tom Seaver and Jacob deGrom and Doc Gooden, Al Leiter's in that second tier. Finally got in the Met Hall of Fame. Al knows it. I love him. Number 4, Victor Cruz.
Pick.
Only number 4.
Only number 4.
Pick.
You got to show him some love.
Didn't you have him at 1?
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell the history of football without the name Victor Cruz.
Listen, I don't want to nitpick here because Victor Cruz was a tremendous player, and he's loved this local area, Patterson, New Jersey. He's still around all the time. The guy really only had 2 good years. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Won a Super Bowl.
It was 4, won a Super Bowl, invented a super dance that we all still
and
do.
embarrassed the Jets with the longest touchdown conceivably,
Right.
or even in history.
He is as synonymous with Christmas in this town as Santa Claus.
You can't have a longer touchdown than he had.
Okay, guess who's ahead of him? Wayne Corbett. Sorry.
I mean, you're a jerk.
Well, but Wayne Corbett was around, dude. Wayne Corbett was a veteran. Wayne Corbett played. Wayne
Warrior.
Corbett dealt with the crap that he got from Keyshawn Johnson.
What was his-
Wayne
what was
Corbett
Wayne-
played a decade here.
What was Wayne Corbett's iconic moment?
Man,
Moment.
why do you need an iconic
This-
moment? The fact that he was out there basically every single week for the
You're
Jets
right.
for 10 years?
And this is where Evan's a freaking disgrace.
Why?
You have actually disgraced Wayne Corbett by doing this.
Why?
Because Wayne Corbett is a great, loyal, one of us New Yorker, the ultimate gritty, earn it,
Hard
went to
hat guy.
Hofstra, hard
Yep.
hat guy, all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
But because of your Jets bias, he's putting him ahead of Super Bowl champion
Oh, no,
and,
no, no,
and now
no,
an NFL
no,
legend.
no.
And Victor Cruz is actually
Dude,
doing
dude.
Wayne Corbett injustice
Hold on
because
a
now we're
second.
going to trash him
Now
for no
he's got to
reason.
defend himself.
Right.
Victor Cruz, and again, great respect for Victor. We're nitpicking here. Played basically 5 minutes in the NFL.
And his
Okay?
5 minutes were better than the 10 minutes that Wayne
No,
played.
that's not true. Wayne Corbett was an excellent wide receiver for a decade, dude.
He's not an iconic player.
To you, he's not. To you, to any kid in Long Island who grew up a Jet fan, he's an icon. He grew up there. He went to Hofstra.
Great.
He's a Jet. What are you talking about?
Bought a bar right outside of Hofstra.
He's actually from New Jersey. I just want to correct
hold on.
myself. I was born in Garfield, but went to Hofstra. So he's got the whole tri-state area figured out.
If I had to give you a homework or something, you have Max's a 2-page essay on the history of the New York Jets and a 2-page essay on the history of the New York Giants. Victor Cruz makes the Giant paper you have to type out. Wayne Corbett does not.
You're wrong. Number 2 on this list. Hopefully
Maybe because of Keyshawn he does.
yeah, that was a big story. Number 2 and number 1 should be universal. We should have no arguments. Number 2 is the great John Franco.
No doubt.
Come on.
No doubt.
Met closer.
Yeah.
Dealt with us booing him half the time.
And everybody feels like they know him.
Everybody, like you run into him all the time.
Even if you don't know him, you feel like you know him. We know him, but everybody knows him.
Which, in a weird twist, if you're anti-Franco being this high, that's probably the reason why.
Yeah.
Because he's just always around that you're almost sick of him.
Sick of him. He was at the Garden last night for the Ranger game, which is another sign Pete Alonso's going to extend. And number 1 on this list is the great Bernard King. Bernard King was before my time, but I respect it. I respect that he's from Brooklyn. I respect that he was drafted and actually played for the Nets.
Yep.
And obviously is a Knick icon to a generation of Knick fans. I'd say between the ages of 44 and 55, he's your guy. So Bernard King is number one. I think that was a flawless list. Your thoughts?
I just would have liked David Tyree.
Oh, you got to get over this David Tyree thing.
I love David Tyree.
I mean, I get you love him, but it's a competitive
He's
list.
Super Bowl champion.
Okay.
He's the most iconic catch in the history of the Super Bowl.
What competes with the most iconic play in the best sport?
We talk about like the one of one. Who else has caught a football like that?
That doesn't make you the number one local icon.
Yes, it does. When
and
you
by
do
the way,
it in a Super Bowl, and it's the reason you won the Super Bowl.
And how many people, with all due respect, when David Tyree was a special team czar, thought of him as a local kid? You almost forgot.
I did.
Well, you thought of it because your buddy
He was my teammate.
He was your teammate.
He knew it, and he was dating a barber, one of the Barber twins.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You dated David Tyree?
Nope.
A Barber
there's
twin?
Another set of Barber twins.
I'm so confused
Yes.
right now.
Tell us more.
They're from North Carolina.
Wait,
They ran
related
track.
to you?
Not related. Well, I don't know. My dad's from North Carolina,
Well,
so
hold on.
maybe.
So barber twins that were not barbers like you're a barber.
They were females, and they ran track and field.
Okay.
And David Tyree went on a date or knew them or something like that.
So you
'Cause
feel like-
he asked me about them. I was like, I don't think I'm related, but maybe.
Wait, so was he was making sure that you weren't related?
I don't know.
Like you just wanted to conflict. Do you think that would have been a turn off or a turn on?
I don't know.
They've been like, you know what? Tiki's cousin, let's go.
But they're actually pretty good track athletes. I think one of them ran in the Olympics as an alternate for one of the sprint relays. Did you find it, Sean?
Finding a Molly barber who was a star in North Carolina.
No, not North Carolina. They're from North Carolina. I don't know if
Gotcha.
they went to UNC.
Oh, boy, I'm going to go down a real rabbit hole.
Going down that
Get the
hole. Well, look, David Tyree deserves great honorable mention. He just doesn't make that list. And by the way, tweet that list out. We'll get to everyone's reaction. I'm sure everybody will love it. Well, he didn't make it. We're not putting him on it.
Okay. If you're going to put one honorable mention on, put David Tyree.
I mean, geez.
Who are you taking out of the 10 I mentioned if it's David Tyree's being added, out of curiosity?
Mark
Jackson?
Mark Jackson.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Tyree deserves no offense over Kenny Anderson, too.
Really?
Yeah. And frankly, in 3 years, forget being on the list, Adam Fox will probably be number one on this list.
Yeah, look, I thought it was fair. There's
It's
two.
a good caveat. It's a good omission.
Yeah, there's
the
two
current guys.
There's two caveats to this. Number one, is it really the local area? Like if you're from Connecticut, but you're 3 hours away from New York City, you're not in the local area. If you're in the Poconos, you're not in the local area. And then the active athlete you have to put to the side because we don't know their story yet. But the real motivation behind all this is, will there be a day when we sit back 15 years from now where we talk about Tommy DeVito topping this list? Because in a lot of ways, Tommy DeVito is the quintessential New Yorker.
No more shines, Billy.
New Jersey or two, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, it's all
more.
encompassing.
It's more New Jerseyer.
Yeah, but we're the same. New York, New Jersey, Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
He's born, lived,
Yeah.
played New Jersey.
I mean, he's got a gold
He
chain.
plays now.
He's got
Lives in New Jersey.
I get New Jersey
I
and New
know
York
what
are
you mean.
connected. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You ain't all right, Spidey.
He's got that gold chain that says TD. He's got, I can't call it by its old name anymore, but
Yeah.
the white shirt that has
You can't call it by either one of its old names.
Here's what DeVito's done at a minimum. At a minimum, DeVito
A
is
tank top T-shirt.
Yeah.
There it is.
DeVito has earned. Oh, that's a cool jersey in a parking lot 10 years from now. Looks
Yes.
like he will,
It'll unless he sticks and has some impact.
but he or his gear being sold.
He's going to be one of those those jerseys that you're going to be like, if you knew, you knew.
Yes.
Have you purchased any Tommy DeVito paraphernalia yet?
I felt very guilty on Monday for raining on the whole tank parade and what DeVito was doing. That, yes, as I was doing a little holiday shopping, I did a little to Sean from Sean.
Wait, so what'd you get?
I'm going to debut it on the show as soon as it comes in. I got a very, very fun Tommy DeVito gear that I'm
Funny how? How am I funny?
So you didn't get a jersey, you got some kind of shirt.
Yes.
Can I warn you about this? Because a year ago, I got a sweatshirt that says Mike Bleepin' White.
Oh, I'm aware that he's probably in Mike White territory.
Yeah, but the difference is if Tommy DeVito turns into the backup for the New York Giants, like if that's the end game here, where he's the backup quarterback for the New York Giants for the next 5 years.
He's not on the list.
No, he's not on the list,
Yeah.
but having his jersey, I think, will still be cool. Like he's on the team.
It's like having a punter's jersey.
Anytime the guy gets hurt, he fills in. But here's my worry about that. And this is a legitimate worry about the emergence of Tommy DeVito, who I am rooting passionately for, and I think every Giant fan should. If it makes your decisions more difficult come draft time, that's good. Sometimes tough decisions are
Agreed.
good. But here's what would worry me about Tommy DeVito. he plays well enough. But then they go draft a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still here next year. He's a backup or eventually
now
becomes
he
a
becomes
backup.
the third string.
Well, but he also becomes, in my opinion, a distraction. Because all of us, I know how we are.
He becomes what Mike White was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
TiVo
yeah.
without the religion.
Yeah. TiVo without the religion. But don't you think that could happen with him? Or, when's Tommy playing? When Tommy D's playing? Like, give me a quarterback that you're going to draft. Give me a real one. Just give me any name.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy. Imagine Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy. Let's mix them together. J.J. Daniels. Throws an interception, fourth game in. Giants are struggling. You can't
And
see.
Daniel Jones is not ready yet.
Jones is still hurt.
Okay.
You can't see the Tommy DeVito.
They got to put that friggin' kid in. He's tough. He's
Maybe
one
we-
of us.
Maybe we have something here. No, you'll get chance of Tommy Cutlets coming down from the 300 section.
That's what I'm saying.
And,
That's
bro, he lives at home with his mom, who makes, the manigot. I mean, he's like all of us that grew up. I lived till my parents till I was 30.
By the
So
way,
I get it.
Speaking of which, right now is this prime time for Tommy DeVito. Prime, you know what I mean by this? Prime time.
Of course.
No, why
like-
don't you explain it?
He can hook up with whoever he wants.
Doesn't he have a girl?
Oh, does he? I apologize.
Wow,
he's pulled a maneuver as of this morning.
Well, what happened? He has a girlfriend or he doesn't have
He
a
went to the facility for a couple days. He put in his work, unlike some other quarterbacks in this town, and now he did a quick little 48, 72-hour getaway to Lauderdale. Got out of the mommy's
Hold
better.
on a second, you hypocrite.
Got to get a little
You had
suntan.
such an issue with Zach Wilson going apple picking. Now Tommy DeVito goes to Fort Lauderdale, and you're like, it's quick, it's fine, no big deal.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Did he go alone?
I think so.
Does he have a girlfriend or not? Because I don't want to be disrespectful right
I
now.
really don't have that confirmed.
Okay, we don't
Dude,
know.
Do you have his Instagram page?
don't have his
Go
Instagram.
look. Go.